Thanks for joining. This is another event of our series Behavioral Science Talks. This is Alki.behavioralsciencetalks, and our speaker today is the author of Emotional Intelligence, Daniel Goleman. So on behalf of the board of the Harvard Kennedy School Alumni Association here in New England, I want to welcome everyone from around the world. We have thousands of people interested in this talk today, and for some of you, it's 11 o'clock at night, and you still showed up. So I just want to take a moment here and just truly thank everyone. You're the ones making these talks happen. Without your interest, without your presence, we wouldn't be able to pull this together and have speakers of the caliber like Daniel Goleman. So we have a fantastic lineup coming up for the next year. So I just want to mention briefly 3 talks that I think you shouldn't miss. January 7th, we have Robert Cialdini. He's actually the reason I got interested in the field of behavioral science years ago. He's the father of persuasion. And practically in every class I've taken at Harvard, the professor teaches his work. January 21st, we have Max Bazerman. He was my professor at the Harvard Business School, and he's one of the most well-respected and well-known professor in academia and the industry in our field. And he's a researcher very well known for the level of his integrity. And he's gonna talk to us about better, not perfect. And lastly, February 25th, we have Robert Waldinger. He's the one behind the famous longest happiness study that most of you are familiar with, which I'm guessing might be particularly helpful for times like those. His work has received a lot of press attention, and he has a very popular TED Talk that I highly recommend. So just to make it easy for everyone, I'm just gonna paste everything in the chat with dates and links to sign up. I just wanna thank once again Rachel Krinklo from the Harvard Kennedy School Alumni Relations for all her support with this series. And we're co-hosting our events with the Alumni Association with various Harvard clubs. So I'm just going to briefly pass it to one of the presidents, Stuart Pesco, and welcome you as well.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Stuart Pesco here from Harvard Club, Merrimack Valley. Again, want to welcome all of our sisters and brother alums from the Northern New England Harvard clubs, and it sounds like there's participation globally. So welcome to all the Harvard Club and SIGs. And very happy to be supporting these activities with the Kennedy School Alumni Association. But with that, I'm going to shut up so Daniel can talk.
All right, so I'm going to paste the link as well if you'd like to support our work from the Alumni Association, and we can get started. So I'm sure you can't wait. We've organized plenty of events so far with very big names, but this is the first time people are asking me to bring them autographs of the speaker. So Daniel, he got his Ph.D. in clinical psychology at Harvard. His book, Emotional Intelligence, is a New York Times bestseller that has been translated in 40 languages, sold over 5 million copies, and Time Magazine has named it one of the 25 most influential business management books. So this year marks the 25th anniversary of the publication. We're celebrating this with our talk today. You can ask your questions in the Q&A throughout the talk. It's at the bottom of the Zoom app, or you can raise your hand. Also found at the bottom of the app, and we'll give you permission to talk. We'll take questions at the end of Daniel's presentation, and with one request, just keep your question short if possible. Before we start, we're just gonna have a poll that you can just fill out, just to understand how many of you are actually familiar with the term of emotional intelligence. Please take the time and fill this out. All right, so we can see, so 96% of the people are familiar with the term at this point. And then, so, you know, you can't take the floor, but you can take the screen for now. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm pleased to speak to all of you. I'm myself a member of the Harvard Club of New York on 44th Street in Manhattan. And I've used it as an office for years because when I worked at the New York Times as a science journalist, I had nowhere to meet people. So I used to meet them at the club. And I'm very fond of the club, and I'm happy to be talking to fellow club members from around the world. I'm talking about emotional intelligence, and I assume you're familiar, but basically, if you don't know, it's just a way of talking about being intelligent about emotions. And when I wrote the book, Emotional Intelligence 25 years ago, this was a very new concept. you.